No lie, Eric. My GPA, I need to return it to the
Okay. How are you guys? Cool. Hungry. I was hungry, but I ate, so no, I'm not. That I would have enjoyed tacos more than my salad, but the salad was healthier for me. Okay, so I got a couple of announcements to go through, and then I've actually got a special topic lecture for you guys today. So it's about family businesses. So first of all, you guys remember a while back I told you about a kinetic sculpture competition that the engineering students are doing. They settled on the first meeting date for it. It's going to be December 2nd. November 3rd. What am I talking about? December 2nd. That's the date of our Condors game. The 3rd of November. And, you know, I wish in retrospect that I had done more things like this when I was an undergrad. Like, the engineering students do really cool stuff. And it's a great thing to have on your resume. It's a great contact to have in your career later. Good. So, if you're at all interested, I highly recommend that you do this. I put the announcement here in the information section of Blackboard under Other Materials, Kinetic Sculpture Competition announcement. And you'll notice down here in the bottom of the second page, Thursday, November 3rd, 7 o'clock in Science 3 108 is the initial meeting for that event. So anybody that's interested, I highly recommend that you go, and all the information that you need is there in the other information section of other materials part of the information section of Blackboard. So the next thing I wanted to do is go through the continuous improvement feedback. So I really appreciate all the feedback everybody gave me for things to improve about the class. I want to go through and talk about what I can change and what I would like to change but can't. And because of your feedback, I've changed a little bit what I was planning for this week. So I'm going to go through the continuous improvement feedback today, and then I'm going to do a special topics lecture on family businesses today. And on Thursday, we're actually going to do a hands-on exercise. I've reserved the computer lab, so I want the Condors team people to work on web development, because actually you haven't had any exposure to that yet. I want the Edible Garden, Potty Boss, and Shout people to work on grant research. And I want Freeze Prime to work on industry and competitive research. And I've done lectures, I've had webinars on all that stuff, but some of your comments in the continuous improvement feedback was that it'd be nice to have some more sort of assignments during class to make sure that you understood and had the skills down. So we're going to do that on Thursday instead of the group meetings. I need some time, especially the Edible Garden team. You guys have done a lot of work at this point, and I need to go through everything you've done and sort of organize what the next steps are. So we'll get back to more group work next week. But I'm going to do a lecture today, and then we're going to do some hands-on work on web development, industry and competitive research, and grant research on Thursday. One other announcement. Things are finally moving forward for the Condors project. So Thursday of this week, there's one group thing that we are doing. Immediately after this class, we're going to go to do the first classroom presentation. I'm going to do it. You guys watch me, kind of get a feel for how I do it. It'll be immediately after this class. We're going to go over to Science 3, and there's an accounting class that we're going to present to. If anybody already has people that want to purchase tickets, I have the first 50 in my hands now. The Condors folks just dropped them off to me, so we're good to go. The first classroom presentation will be Thursday after this class. You guys all come with me and kind of see how I do it. And then I've already heard back from 3 other colleagues about 5 or 6 different classes we can go to, and I'm just getting warmed up. So I know everybody's schedule. I will schedule time slots when you're available to go to various classes, and then I think we're going to do a table outside the student union during the day, not next week, but the week after next, and have the mascot, Colonel Claude, show up and try to get people to sign up there too. So I've got tickets here now, and Thursday we're going to go and do the first presentation. So other than that, there's no group work going on this week, but we are going to do Condor's presentation after class on Thursday. Any questions about all that? Okay.
Do I have to pay cash for the tickets?
Cash, check, or credit card?
I have my credit card. Can I get 2?
Huh?
I
Yeah?
have a credit card. Can I get 2?
Yeah?
Cool.
Can we do it after class?
Sure.
Okay. I'm tempted to do it right now because I don't want to I don't want to miss you, but here. You got the credit card? Fill this out.
Okay.
How much is it?
Tickets are 17.
We should have asked.
17 for the cheap seats and 34 for the ringside suite.
I'm not getting
Do we get a discount?
34 for the ringside suite.
Do we get a discount?
I want the same ones we got last time.
We got better seats than last time. Last time we had $11 seats. These are $17 seats. They're in the lower deck, a lot closer to the ice. And it's December 2nd. So I'm going to go through. We'll do another presentation in this class. Anybody else that wants to come, I have I can give you the form just like I just gave Stephen, and you can fill out the credit card information. Okay, I want to go over the continuous improvement feedback. So I really appreciate all the feedback you guys gave me. I've color-coded it. Color-coded it a little bit to make things easier to go through. So, how could I make the subject matter of this course? How could I improve your efforts to help you? My efforts to help you learn. So, I'd like to see more discussions with students to improve the concept grasped. As an example, open-ended questions to encourage students to think critically. How would you go about finding suppliers for a new business? Okay. How would you guys go about finding suppliers for a new business?
Research. Google.
LinkedIn.
Huh?
LinkedIn.
That's what I would do. But that was pretty good. That didn't actually prove my example as much as I thought it would. How many people in here have taught a class or have regularly had to be on stage in front of 40, 50 people for an hour at a time? So, Valente, how do you like it when there's crickets chirping?
Not really.
Yeah, neither do I. One of the reasons why I don't do that more is because I don't want to have silence. I feel like I owe you guys a show each time. Either I need to be talking or you need to be talking. But that's one of my weaknesses as a teacher is that I talk too much and don't listen enough. So I'm going to try to ask more questions going forward and have more discussion time. It's one of my weaknesses. But the reason I do that is because if I ask, what would you guys do what would you guys do first to find a good grant to apply for?
go to grant.gov.
I see, this is nice. Okay, you guys are interacting. So I will do more of this going forward. The thing I don't want is to ask that question and then have nobody answer. But
Sorry, ruining it for you.
no, you're fine. You're fine. This is what I want. Both are good. I would say grants.gov is the first place to go, but we'll get back to that more later. I would like to use class time to focus on the class materials, possibly even give short, easy assignments to practice, like creating a simple web page or something you like to do, or something just so we all get experience doing it. That's exactly what I have planned for Thursday now. So actually, everything that's in red is something that I didn't know whether I could get done before the end of the semester or not, but I was going to try. Green are things that I definitely can do. So I'm planning on doing that exercise stuff on Thursday, so I will get to that. I don't find the webinars that appealing, especially towards the end of class. I like webinars more for online courses or extra material, but in class, having more instruction from the instructor, having small little assignments based on the lectures would work well for me to kind of grasp more. I've been playing around a lot with the webinars. Like, the nice thing for me is that I can plan everything in the webinars so that it works correctly, and I don't have to worry about technology problems like crapping up in class. But I understand the fact that if you only have me live for 2 hours a week, and like you can always watch the webinar some other time. So I will get away from doing any more webinars during class and just have you guys watch those outside of class. I actually agree that that's a better way to do it, but because this class, like I told you guys, is less than 1/6 of my total job, there are certain things that I have not prepared as well as I would like for this class, and one of them is kind of refreshing the lectures. So a little bit. The lectures for this class in particular are a little stale right now. It's been over a year since I've really renewed them, and it was easier for me to show the webinar rather than doing a half-assed job of trying to do the lecture. But I will focus on not doing the webinars anymore during class. So thank you for that comment. For projects we're working on, I think it would have been beneficial to assign group leaders or slightly more definitive roles earlier in the semester. I understand and I agree with you, especially the edible garden team. You got 19 people on the team. That's really too large. We need like sub-teams and like group leaders for each task. And one of the reasons why I'm taking a week off basically before we do more group work is because I need to do my homework to assign tasks and say, okay, Daniel and Bernice, you're going to be working on this, and here's what the next step is. Morris, I want you to do this, etc., etc. So I will give you some more clear guidance on that going forward. It's been a little hard so far because there's so many things to do, and there's so many moving parts. It's hard to figure out what to assign you guys, but I will give you some more guidance on that and assign some leaders for various subgroups going forward. I do a great job choosing the appropriate size of the topic to discuss per class period in order to approve. Recommend providing more engaging activities related to the lesson plan for groups to resolve while in class. So we're going to do a little bit of that on Thursday with the hands-on work, and I will force myself to shut up more and ask more questions going forward and see if we can't get a little bit better balance of interaction for you guys going forward. Enthusiasm. If it's blue, that means I'm already doing okay. So thank you for that compliment. I do a pretty good job of setting a comfortable environment. I think using less webinars, they're a bit monotone and draggy. So yeah, I won't do the webinars during class anymore, like I said. I do a great job of keeping it casual. Thank you. I pride myself on being a casual dude, so I'm glad that has come across.
Don't say dude anymore.
Don't say dude anymore? That's not in the comments anywhere, is it?
I thought I read that. I'm sorry.
You may have. You may have. In order to improve the enthusiasm, remove some of the repetitive stress of lecturing the same information time after time in a day. You know, I was just thinking that on my way over here. I need, like, it takes me a little bit of time outside of class to plan our class activities. And so I need to think a little bit about how I could structure our time in this class a little bit differently. But I was thinking on my way over here, just from my point of view, you guys kind of suffer by the fact that this is the third class of the day for me, and it's 7 o'clock at night. And I mean, honestly, I'm kind of done. So unfortunately, you do kind of get like warmed over lectures sometimes because a lot of the material overlaps a lot with what I do in my entrepreneurship class, and I need to prepare better for this class and maybe take a nap in my office hours before coming over here so that I'm fresher. But I'm going to think about what I can do to liven things up in here a bit. I appreciate the comment. What could I do to improve the intellectual challenge of the course? More conversations with students. I will. What would you guys like to say right now?
How was your day?
My day has been relatively good. You know, I'm always, my day, like, rises or falls based on how I feel about teaching. And I felt pretty good about being prepared today, so it's been a good day. Thank you for asking. I will try to do more interaction going forward. I would like to see more easy, simple homework assignments based on the lectures to gain practice. So that's exactly what I'm going to do Thursday, and Thursday will not be the last time we do that. I'm going to try and give everybody some hands-on application time of the lectures, not just on the class projects, and hopefully that'll be a little bit better for you guys going forward. The blue one, broadly relevant applications. I do a good job of exposing you to that. Thank you. In order to improve the level of intellectual challenge, I would recommend expecting us to think more critically in class, providing a task and allowing us to ask questions. I will do more of that. I may not be the best at it because my natural tendency is to blab, 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 blab up here, but I will really try hard to make things more interactive. How could I make the course syllabus match the content better? Having an updated course syllabus would be nice to have. Yeah, you guys do deserve an updated syllabus. Unfortunately, like I said, I did a lot of work over the summer to change my senior seminar course that I teach, and I didn't take a lot of time to renew the materials for this class, so they're a little stale right now, and the syllabus is a little bit out of date. I apologize for that. It's a little too late in the semester for me to do much to fix the syllabus, but I agree with you. It needs to be better, so I agree with that comment. I'm not sure how much I can do about it this semester, but I will make some changes for that for spring semester. I honestly don't pay much attention to the course syllabus because much of it is based on telling us in class what you want us to do versus having assigned due dates for everything on the paper ahead of time. I would like more set dates for things like LinkedIn, the personal business plan. A few students have asked me when these would be due, when they were asked to be submitted early on in the course, and we just received instructions on what. So basically, I owe you guys comments on your LinkedIn profiles. I have 120 students that I need to do like LinkedIn profile markups for. It's incredibly time consuming. So I apologize that I haven't gotten it done already. That's on my schedule for Sunday of this weekend. I doubt that I'll get through all of them, but I feel your pain on not having more clear guidance on due dates and assignments. I'm not sure how much I can change of that right now because some of it depends on me doing my work, and I need time to get it done. So I appreciate the comment. I'm not sure how much I can do on that right now, but I will kind of bear it in mind going forward. How could I improve my explanation of the grading system? Maybe have a more detailed grading system for individual updates like LinkedIn. I feel some just create but do not. but do very minimum feeling the grade will be full points just by doing something minimal. I'm not sure how quickly I can get this done, but I'm going to try to develop better rubrics for what I expect from you, especially from your group projects. I'll try and give you more guidance going forward, but I need a little time on that. And LinkedIn, I will give you very specific guidance on LinkedIn just as soon as I've had the time to go through everything, and hopefully I'll be further along with that after Sunday. How could I improve the timeliness of my grading and responses? LinkedIn and personal career planning thing, I agree. I'm overwhelmed right now, but I will start working on LinkedIn markups on Sunday, and I will get them to you guys as soon as I can. Looks like office hours and availability has been okay. Doesn't seem to be too much feedback in class to notice anything. So I think that kind of speaks to having more back and forth, which I will try my best to do. Supportiveness seems like it's okay. How could I improve the amount or type of homework assignments? I would have liked to have more homework assignments to the lectures, but easy, simple ones. Also, early on, direction of what people need to do for each project and not just telling the entire group, but assigning specific tasks so people don't feel lost or overwhelmed. I will do that. I do not expect anything from you guys on your projects this week other than the Condors people to show up with me for this presentation after class on Thursday. Especially the Edible Garden team, you've been kind of like I've expected a lot from you with minimal guidance and structure, and I will change that going forward. I'm going to spend the entire early afternoon on Saturday trying to organize the Edible Garden project better. So I get that, and I will make some changes there. And also, I will have some more in-class homework activities attached to the assignments, kind of like what I'm planning on for Thursday.
So are we supposed to meet in the computer lab?
No, we'll meet here. We'll meet here. If you have your laptops, you can work on your laptops, but I know some people don't bring their laptop with you, so I reserved a computer lab back in BDC that we can use as well. So we'll meet here on Thursday, and then those of you who don't have a laptop can come with me over to BDC, and I'll set you up with the computer center there, and then I will shuttle back and forth. I'll spend sort of half the class time in BDC, and then I'll be over here for half the class time too. Or you can all come and use the computer lab. There's enough space for everybody. That's probably an easier thing to do, but let's meet here to start with, and then we'll head over there. If I'm able, I have to look and see which room it is. If I can figure out which room it is, I will email you all to tell you that we're meeting there, and we'll meet there. But until further notice, we will meet here and then head over there, okay? Looks like one thing you'd like, actually I think it looks like I'm doing okay on being a good instructor in general. I am going to have more guest lecturers come in. I think part of the comment here was that people would like to have more real small business owners come in and talk to the class, and I have that planned for basically the second half of November and the first half of December, so we will have more guest speakers coming in. And then finally, I would recommend the course as is with all benefits. Thank you. So it looks like the course in general, was that the one that you wrote?
None of mine showed up.
I don't know what happened to them. I promise you I didn't delete them.
Mine did.
Really?
In either class.
Weird.
It's kind of frustrating because I had good stuff up there.
I gave you good stuff.
Well, you're welcome to send it to me directly. I wanted to give you the chance to be anonymous, but I don't want to miss out on the feedback. You can send it to me on email. I want to hear your feedback. I don't know why I did that. I promise you I didn't delete anything.
Well, like I said in the other class, most of my comments were keep up the good work, Doc.
Uh-huh.
But there were some that were critical. So it's
I'm psyched to hear it.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay. I mean, I won't hold it against you. Please send me critique on what I can do better. Okay.
Cool.
I don't want to miss it. I'm sorry it didn't work. I don't know why.
I don't know what happened.
So anyway, that is the update on continuous improvement. I'm going to try to spend some time this weekend, next weekend, like going forward, spend a little bit of time each week trying to do my preparation so that I can address some of the things that you asked me to change. So thank you all for the feedback. I really appreciate it. So let's talk about family businesses. Any questions or additional comments about the continuous improvement before I go forward? Okay. So this is always a fun lecture for me because a lot of my research that I do, a lot of my publishing that I do as an author is about family businesses. So I know some of you, but not all of you off the top of my head, who in here has a family business in their family of one kind or another. That's what a lot of you. Cool. So the topic, the title of my lecture was Family Businesses, Are They Better, Worse, or Just Different? Those of you who raised your hands, what do you think? Crystal, what do you think?
I think they're just different.
I think they're just different too, but anybody feel like it's very frustrating at times to work together with your family members?
Well, hell yeah, it is.
At times or always.
I don't know. What would you say, Amber? At times or all the time?
All the time.
My dad and I, remember when I didn't have my dad here for this lecture. I had him for the afternoon lectures. So my dad, I moved him out here not too long ago. He had a stroke. He's got dementia going on. So I moved him out here not too long ago to take care of him. Some of you got to meet him because I brought him to my earlier classes. But once upon a time, he had a business. He was the president. I was the sales guy. And I know we locked horns a lot when we worked together. But looking back on it in retrospect, there were a lot of really rewarding things about being able to go out to the bar on a Friday night and celebrate the victories that we had achieved together. It was really cool bonding experience too. So I think they're just different. But in any case, this is a fun one for me to go through because not only do I have some personal background with it, but this is a lot of what my publishing work is. So on the better side, one of the nice things is that there's no agency conflicts. So there's basically, usually the people who own the business are also the ones that work in it and manage it, so that you don't have to worry about having managers that don't that have different interests than the owners. I've got a nice little slide, a theory that one of my colleagues has come up with called sustainable family business theory that talks about, sorry, my Bluetooth keeps talking to me through my pocket. I don't know why. I thought I had turned everything off. Okay, on the worst side, sometimes there's some challenges that family businesses have with professionalization and with conflict, like we talked about, between family members. And then on the different side of things, one major thing that's different is that a lot of times, if it's a family business, you want to try and keep it in the family from one generation to the next, which brings on a whole bunch of questions about succession planning and what do you do when your parents' generation retires and hands it over to the kids? What happens when you retire and hand it over to your kids? There's a lot of issues that are different there than there are with any other kind of business. And then finally, family businesses have a lot of non-financial goals. It's usually about more than just making a profit. It's about being able to work together with your family. It's about being active and having a positive reputation in the community. Sometimes it's about political activism, but there's a lot of other goals that family businesses have besides just making a profit that make them different as well. So, so on the better side, family businesses tend to be run by the same individuals who own them. This is basically allows you to have a certain level of synergy of goals that is different than larger companies that are owned by one set of individuals and managed by another. This is a cool little chart here that my colleague Sharon Danes and her cooperators came up with about 10 years ago. It's called Sustainable Family Business Theory, and it talks about the family and the business being two different systems that overlap with each other and help each other both back and forth. So you've got resources and constraints in the family, like the size of the family, the number of generations that are involved in do you have grandparents that are still alive and active? How old is the youngest generation? Are they still just children, or are they old enough to actually be participative in some way in the business? And resources and constraints on the business side of things, the size of the business, the number of employees you have besides family members, how old the business is, things like that. There's processes both for times of stability and times of change, and when there's times of stability or times of change, the two systems will sort of balance back and forth with each other to provide resources, provide labor on the one side from the family, and provide revenue and identity and other things like that from the business side. So it's a cool little theory that I've left a citation for here in the slides. If any of you are interested in reading more about that theory, it's a cool little theory about how the family and the business are sort of two different organizations that overlap and interact with each other. Yes, Justin.
I've got an abstract question.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that family-owned businesses are mostly derived from families that are conservative?
No. I don't think so.
I'm just wondering.
No. There's a colleague of mine that did research on this not too long ago. It's on the partisan political activity of family businesses. And the interesting thing was that some of them donate heavily to Republicans, some of them donate heavily to Democrats, but they usually don't split it either way. Family businesses tend to be more strongly partisan, but not necessarily conservative. Some of them are very liberal, some of them are very conservative, but they're usually not in the middle. It's usually strong on one direction or the other. So I don't think that they're necessarily conservative, but I do think that political beliefs tend to be expressed more through the company than they are in companies that are not family owned. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Other comments or questions on that general topic? It's a cool theory that I would for those of you who have businesses in your family, I'd recommend reading this article. It's a cool view of how the two systems overlap. Are family businesses worse? So professionalization challenges and conflicts. Some of my colleagues that publish in this area have suggested that it's interesting if there's a non-family family versus non-family CEO tends to, like, you can have a family business but actually hire a non-family person to be the CEO or the president. And some of my colleagues have found that if you have a non-family member as the president or the CEO, you tend to have more operational flexibility than if all family members are involved in the upper management of the firm. And that's basically because of the different knowledge and skill sets and perspectives that the non-family person brings to the table. Compensation, promotion, ownership stakes. Does this first one, like, feelings of not being taken seriously, like feeling love from your parents, like lack of trust with siblings or whatever, does any of this sound familiar for people that have family businesses in their family? Yolanda, what's your experience with this?
My dad, because he feels like he's the head of the family,
Uh-huh.
he wants to be the head of the business as well. He wants to make all the decisions for both sides. And most of the time he doesn't want to listen in the business side because he always makes the decisions in the family.
Mm-hmm. Marcella, did you raise your hand too?
Yeah. So this is more like my grandpa. My grandpa has a lot of apartment complexes and such.
Uh-huh.
And he has 3 children. My mom and mom's never cared to manage anything. And my grandpa has gone through each and every single uncle, and they've all screwed up. So my grandpa just hired somebody, like outsourced somebody else to.
Have they screwed up, or could he just not get along with them?
No, they screwed up.
Okay.
And my grandpa just doesn't trust him, and then they get upset. But my grandpa's just like, look, you guys didn't manage the job well. Like, I'm not going to lose everything because, you know, you guys are stubborn, or you guys had your chance. You didn't prove yourself, literally, and he's outsourced.
Did they ever feel like, damn, Grandpa, you're my grandpa. Like, aren't
All
you
the
supposed
time.
to just accept
Why
and love me
are you being
unconditionally?
somebody else? You know, we're your kids and
It's
da,
also
da, da.
when you not trust them.
Yeah, like when one of my uncles was just like the profit that was coming in, he was using it as like his personal income.
Mm.
So it was really bad, you know, and like he was just like he was gonna destroy everything, and my grandpa worked really hard for everything he has, and to share that with all of us in the family and stuff, and just one single person was throwing it away. And my grandpa just had to put a stop to it, and he used the whole "but I'm your son" card, and my grandpa's just like, yeah, I know.
Anybody? Go ahead. Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
that was it.
Crystal.
My family business is a different story, but I actually work for a family
I thought you did.
And
Have you noticed interesting conflicts
I
between the family
do
members?
because when the owner of the company, he came down, he was diagnosed with leukemia a few years ago, and so when he decided to kind of step back, I guess it was expected that his manager, who was not a part of the family, would take over the business. The owner would still be the owner, but he would be our manager, our general manager, since he has been there the longest, and we trust him.
And he's not a family member?
And he's not a family member, but when the owner got sick, his son stepped in and became our general manager, and expected everybody to kind of do things his way, and it was really hard for the first year for everybody to adjust to this kid, because he is a lot younger than all of us, to come in and decide he's going to run a business where everybody's life is at stake. We make money when we support our family with this guy, and the owner is going through chemo and everything, and his son is just steps in because that's his son, and it was just kind of different, but it's good now. I got him trained.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. So would you say that he had some things to learn when he first started?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Other observations or comments about conflict with family members in the business? Daniel.
I'm probably more likely to bark back at my dad in front of people than any other employees.
Say again.
I've got the balls to like yell at my dad in front of people, and like other people won't stand up to him the same way, just because of their family.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not necessarily a good thing.
No, it's neither here nor there. I certainly.
I put my foot down a lot more.
The level of conflict my dad and I had when we worked together, like I would have been fired if it was anybody other than my father. But yeah, Morris.
I deal with several small business owners.
I
always get a kick out of it because usually in the mornings when I show up, I'll talk to, say, the son, and then the dad will show up 15 minutes later and contradict everything the son just said. And then like 30 minutes later, they're locking horns in the back somewhere, yelling at each other.
Yep.
It just happens all the time, I guess.
One example that I always remember fondly, my ex-wife, she and her family own and run a large company in Brazil, and they decorate shopping malls for Christmas, and they actually make. These are like 30-foot high Santa Claus and giant Christmas tree and like the sleigh hanging from a 30-foot high ceiling and stuff. It's really major engineering projects, and they build these sets themselves, and then they actually rent them rather than selling them. So they go in December or end of November and install everything in the mall. And then in January, they go in and take it all out again and put it back in the warehouse. Well, they started renting their warehouse and production space when they first started the company back in 1981. And they grew a lot. And eventually, they're just getting killed on rent. So they decided to buy their own building and move the location so they don't have to pay rent anymore. And when they bought the building, they had to decide what percentage of the building each family member was going to own, and it wasn't an equal share for there's a mom, dad, and 4 kids, and my ex-wife was the youngest of the 4, but she's been very involved in the business and arguably, you could say that she's the most important, operational member of the business. And she got less of a percentage of the building than her older brother did. And I remember that, Rita would not speak to her mother or her brother for a week and a half after that, because she was like, Mom always loves Zeffie better. And this just proves it again. She's never taken me seriously. She doesn't appreciate what I do. And, she's always going to give Zeffie more of everything because she loves him more. It's totally feelings from the family side, spilling over into the business side of things. And it was fun. It was funny to be in the middle of that and, see my ex-wife, not talking with my brother-in-law and my mother-in-law for the better part of 2 weeks. They had to work together every day, but they wouldn't speak to each other. So sometimes the conflict can be pretty intense in family businesses. And then on the are they just different side, there's succession planning and non-financial goals. So this is a presentation that I put together about 1.5 years ago, I think, on succession planning. So basically, what do you do with the business when you come to the end of one generation and the beginning of the next? And there's basically 3 things that there's 3 things that any family business can decide to do. You can either maintain ownership and control. You can maintain ownership but not control. Basically, bless you, hire somebody else to manage the business like they were going to do before the son stepped in. Or you can just liquidate the business and sell it. So, of all of you in here that raised your hands about family businesses, how many are planning on passing it down from one generation to the next versus selling it? And how many are thinking of selling it versus passing it down? Okay, so equal.
Selling my dad's business.
You are? Okay. You have no desire to manage it yourself? Fair enough.
And my brothers are lame, so,
You don't think your brother could manage it effectively?
I'll know. He can't manage his life.
Well, then perhaps he should not be in charge of the business. So, on the 3 different paths here, I've kind of put down some questions to ask yourself about, whether this is the right path to take when you're transitioning from one generation of the family to the next. So, if you're going to maintain ownership and control, which basically means that you're going to continue to own the company and the family, and you're going to continue to manage it and be the owner, and you're going to be there every day to work on the company. Is the business part of your identity? And is there anybody that can do what you do besides you do? Like, if there's nobody else that can do what you do, then the business is probably going to fall apart if you're not involved in running it. And if it's part of your identity, you're going to have a really hard time, like, getting up and looking in the mirror and going on with life if you give up the company. I know it's really interesting. There's a woman that I met at a family business conference in Germany a year ago, and I think she was actually she's from Brazil. I didn't meet her when I lived there, but she's also from Brazil. And her father basically had a toy company that he had built from scratch shortly after the Second World War, and built it up really big. And then the company kind of fell on hard times, and he decided to sell the business without talking to her first. And it's kind of sad. Like, she's a consultant now for other family businesses, but she has kind of a hollow look in her eyes. I don't think she ever got over the fact that her identity is part of that family business, and it got sold, and she didn't want it to be sold. She wanted to take it over, and she didn't have a chance to get asked. So I think it's important to communicate with all the stakeholders. So make sure to talk with the rest of your family members about, is anybody going to be upset about losing their identity if the business gets sold? If not, probably okay to sell it. If they are, then maybe you should rethink that. But then also talk with the employees, talk with customers, talk with suppliers. Make sure that everybody's sort of on the same page of the decision being made. And I've tried on each of these slides to put like an interesting factoid from some of my colleagues that do research and publishing in this area. And I think this is probably not a surprise to anyone. The incumbent's inability to let go is the most often the reason why succession doesn't go well. As a case in point, you're nodding your head. Does your dad not want to let go?
No, I work with a lot of small businesses.
Or in the other family businesses you work with?
Well, in my business, I'm in outside sales, so I have over 200 clients that I manage, and they're all small business owners. So all of this, I see or hear, when they're bitching about something, and it's just very interesting. It's interesting because this is stuff I see every day.
My dad's landlord. He's a bit of a slumlord in downtown. I mean, they're okay apartments. They're not really great, but he's a wonderful guy. But Wilson is over 100 years old. He's actually over 100 years old, and he's still actively managing the business. And I asked him the other day, Wilson, assuming you live to be 150, like, if you finally die at 150, what are you going to do with the business, man? And he said, I'm going to sell it. But, come on. You're 100. You could kick off any moment. I don't mean to be morbid, but, you're 100 years old. I think it's time to deal with this now.
He's still young?
Huh?
He's still young?
Well, he's actually a very sprightly 100. But, he's 100 years old. Come on. he definitely has an inability to let go.
I have a client who, they're a family business, and the old man is probably in his early 90s.
Mhm.
And all of his kids work in the business. They've all been in it their whole lives. They're like in their 50s and 40s. And he sold it to this girl that obviously is a lot younger than him. And he sold it from underneath them. And so they all still work there, but this
But they didn't own it anymore.
lady owns it. And then even the old man's still walking around in his uniform, bossing everybody around, and the kids have a lot of resentment.
Oh, I bet they
You know,
do.
they're in their 50s, but they have a lot of resentment because they worked their whole lives to do this, and then some hot chick, you know, shows up and convinces the old man to sell it to her. So it's really interesting. But he still walks around in his uniform and bossing them around, and it's just a really bad environment. And the
Oh, that's too
business
bad. And this is one of your clients?
and the business has been around for, you know, 50 or 60 years. So it's sad. to
Oh,
see
that
it.
is sad.
It's going down too because there's no morale down, so nobody wants to work. Really
It's
bad.
going to be interesting with my ex-wife's family business, like what happens with the next generation. Like it's interesting, like the real heyday of like when I was married to Rita, it was 2000. We weren't there married that long. We were married about 3 years. So from 2003 to 2006, they were awesome. And before 2003, like all the family members, like my father-in-law died in 2006, and it's just not quite the same vibe between the family members anymore. And the next generation. So my ex-wife and I didn't have any kids, but my like ex-brother-in-law, as it were, his oldest is now like about 20, 21, and the youngest grandchild is 7. So in the next 10 years or so, the next generation is going to make a decision whether they want to be involved in the business or not. You know, I think my youngest nephew wants to be a race car driver. You know, he doesn't. And my sister-in-law, the 3 of the 4 family members worked actively in the business. My sister-in-law, she really wanted to be an Olympic gymnast. So she trained for gymnastics for a long time. She didn't make it as a gymnast, so she eventually came back and worked for the family business. But she's never been as involved with it as the rest of the family members, and it's hard to tell whether it's going to continue to go on after this generation or not. But maintaining ownership but not control. I'm just going to get straight to the factoid here. It's interesting, when a non-family professional manager is chosen as a successor, the performance is likely to be better if they've had moderate work experience in the family firm before they started taking over. So if you're going to have research of my colleagues shows that if you're going to have a non-family member take over the business, like you want them to have been there for 3, 4, or 5 years, but not for 10 or 20. And you don't want somebody to come in who's never been working there, but there's sort of a sweet spot of having been there long enough that you know the operations, but not so long that that you sort of get stuck in your ways, and that tends to be the best way to transfer over to still owning the business as the family, but not being involved in the management anymore. And then finally, liquidating the business. It's interesting, a lot of my colleagues do research on this concept called socio-emotional wealth, which is basically the social and emotional value that the family gets from being in charge of the company. And basically, it's only an option to sell the company if, and you know, Crystal, for your decision in the future about selling your dad's company, like you're gonna eventually be faced with one of 2 choices. Like, if your identity is partly tied up in that company, like you're probably going to have to either let go of the identity or not sell the company, because the only person that gets that identity value out of it is you, and it's rare to find a buyer that's going to pay the premium to sort of compensate you for that identity factor. So something to consider based on my my colleagues' research in the past. I've got some information here at the last couple slides on non-financial goals. I thought more than anything this would be interesting to show you guys the kinds of stuff that I do when I'm not teaching this class. One of the big projects that I've been working on for the last year is a survey instrument that measures non-financial goals in family businesses. So if you're going to do a survey instrument in academia, there's a bunch of factors that it's not just asking people questions and getting the answers. You need to have multiple questions for each concept. So if I want to know about like the non-financial goal of maintaining control and ownership over the company, I can't just ask one question. How important to you on a scale of 1 to 5 is maintaining ownership? I need to ask, how important is it to maintain ownership? How important is it to maintain management control? And how important is it to be operationally involved in the business? I have to ask multiple questions. And if people tend to answer higher on this one, they also have to tend to answer higher on the other ones. If I ask 3 questions and this one has answers down here and these 2 have answers up here, it's no good. I can't use it in publishing. So a lot of what I work on when I'm not here is like the finer points of how to ask a question with exactly the right words. And I do a lot of statistical calculating of things like Does anybody in here know what Cronbach's alpha is? So Cronbach's alpha basically it's a number between 0 and 1 that represents how correlated these questions are with each other. So if people that answered 5 on this question tend to answer like 4 or 5 on this one, and 3 or 4 or 5 on this one, you might have a Cronbach's alpha of 0.65 or 0.75. And in general, and if people tend to answer 1 or 2 on this one, and 4 or 5 on this one, and 3 or 2 on this one, then your Cronbach's alpha is going to be something like 0.2. And in general, in the work that I do outside of this class, I need to put together questions like this, have people answer them on surveys like you guys took, and have this number be above 0.7. And if it's not above 0.7, my colleagues write very nasty notes to me and say, how could you write this piece of shit document? Like, I can't believe you sent this to me with a Cronbach's alpha of lower than 0.7. Like, please don't ever send me this paper again unless it has a Cronbach's alpha of higher than 0.7. It's interesting stuff that I have to deal with that has nothing to do with the teaching of this class, but I thought you guys would be interested to hear a little bit about the rest of what I do when I'm not here. So those are, for anybody that's interested in the rest of the finer points of my research, I've added a couple slides there on it. It is now 8:08, so I think I'm going to call it a night for tonight. And I may or may not, I may email you guys between now and Thursday and say, hey, we're going to meet in room X, okay? Until further notice, we're meeting here. Thank you, sir. Gosh, that's not what we got shout. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. All good.
Do I get them now or later?
You get them later. Cool. I will there'll be a will call for you. You can also, I can also have them like printed and give it to you, whatever you prefer.
I prefer.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna come to class tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I have a dress rehearsal for an choir concert.
Oh, cool.
But I can text you see what's up. Is it gonna be just like hands-on in class, or is it something we're gonna have to do outside of class too?
Oh,
For Thursday.
you're the Condors one, right? No, it's just like, if you just watch my webinars on Wix and Photoshop, and then try and do it at home. I just wanted to give people a chance to like practice making a website a little bit. So that's it.
I'll be here for the senior sub class, but just not this.
Okay, that's cool. Who's next?
Okay, well, we're all together. Okay, so we're in the other classification
Yep.
with the competitors.
Oh, cool.
Competitors thing. The only thing I didn't understand is how will we differentiate? This Garrett guy doesn't have any way to differentiate himself from other companies. There's nothing specific.
He doesn't have a way, or he just doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know. I don't know. When I talked to him, he just didn't seem like he knew what he was.
Well, I would actually like. We can work on this more later, but for now, I would actually write there.
Yeah, but what I had told him, what I had referred to him was, well, I sell like alarm systems and stuff for AT&T, whatever. So I was telling him just make it like a payment option, a payment plan. Do this cool payment plan where you offer a special offer of this much down. It's like you get this included price with this price. It's just a contract type of thing instead of having, it's different. Just to make sure that he actually stays steady on his actual work. So doing a contract with the special included
I like
price,
it.
but he's just like, well, I don't know anything about pricing yet. I'm not even sure. Because he's not even done with the prototypes. So he doesn't really know what he's doing.
I know. So what's your question for me?
Well, I was talking to him. He's still like he just told us to bear with him because of the fact that he's still developing everything. He still needs to work on stuff. And he said just to hold up on him.
Have a great night, guys.
That's the only issue I had. Everything else didn't seem like that.
No, honestly, Valente came up with a really complete one too. This looks great to me. Like we may edit it more later, but if you were asking me about how will we differentiate, I would actually say in there, Garrett is still developing a lot of the details, so this may change later. However, our suggestion for now would be this.
Well, I just put my suggestion in there.
Yeah, I would actually just add the sentence. Garrett is still deciding. However, the entrepreneurship team's suggestion or Eduardo's suggestion is this.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but aside from that, we already finished it.
Okay, no, it looks great.
We'll send it to you.
Yeah, please email it to me.
We'll send it to you. And as
Cool.
far as all the corrections on this website, we're going to put it all together too. Might as well. Because everyone has it on different ones, so now we have to just go in.
For the edible garden site? Okay.
We'll just put it all together.
Cool.
It's getting super popular.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yes.
My question is, on this Thursday, then I can go to the thing.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Is it this Thursday though?
It's the third Thursday of the month.
Yeah. Yes, you are more than welcome to go
okay?
to it. Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't remember which Thursday it is.
It's the third Thursday of the
Yeah.
month.
If it is, then yeah, go.
Okay, cool. Cool.
And I will make a note to myself.
Do you?
Cool. My
Do you
baby
do
goes to
research at all?
Franklin. My son goes to Franklin Elementary, so
I know you do research.
Every day.
What?
Do you do research involved with any of the steps on campus?
Maybe when
Uh,
I live off Olive, so it's like right behind Jake's
sometimes
Tex-Mex,
not.
I'd be interested.
I lost my dogs.
Yeah, you mean like
Data
having you help with the research?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me make a note. Give Justin attendance credit Thursday. I'll
used to live in
like
the
write you down
area,
as
like,
if you were
across
here
from
and you go to that
the other
event.
side of
And
California.
then
And I feel like we get an
involved
extra like $100 tax.
Do you
on
do
our
with other
because
students?
It is.
in
Damn.
research. Say again?
Do you do research
But
with
we love
students?
our.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I've got
So
I've got one of
my-
my
my
MBAs from last
flight
year that's
school
helping
is
me with that
Evergreen
survey
by
issue
Valley
right there.
Plaza.
And he was an undergrad of mine
It's only
before we
four
went
So my
to
grandma used to
MBA.
love
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
And he wants to
But
be
she,
a
like,
professor when
literally
he wants to be a professor when he grows up. So, like, it's a great
No, I
head
live
start
in,
for him
like,
to have publications
down
to
on
his
the other
name
side of,
if
like,
he works with me.
California.
Yeah, if you're
I'd
interested,
be so down.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
doing
past
research too. So
Buena Vista, sorry, my
No,
glasses.
I like business so much. So.
Yeah, no, let me.
Brendan.
I've got a lot of things going on right now.
On the other side.
Okay, just let me
But
know.
I
The
like
PTA.
it may take me a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
I'll close the loop with you on research. And even after this class is done
Pastoral
next
Lane,
semester,
Terrace
I got plenty of stuff you can work
On
on.
this side.
Okay, yeah, that'd be
I got
awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Really fast. Linda called me. We set a date for our Tupperware party.
Oh, good.
So
When?
November 17th. It's
Okay.
going to be a Thursday, so it'll be during class time, so all these people can show up and not complain that they have other things going on.
Mhm.
So it'll be from 6:30 to 8. I found a location we can have it at downtown, so it'll be centrally located.
Mhm.
It's not going to cost anything. It's my cousin's salon. She
Oh, cool.
owns a salon downtown.
Which salon is it?
It's Color Bar. It's on
Ashley's
20th
your
Street.
cousin?
Ashley's my cousin.
I grew up with that.
I used to go to what was it called? I can't remember.
Oh my god, you guys have the same last
To
name.
the,
Dash is your
to the
cousin.
the corner of C and 18. The C and 19th is where my like hair salon used to be downtown. Anyway, so
I got the location,
Mhm.
so it'll be Color Bar Salon, and she said we can use it. She's gonna let all her stylists know not to make appointments after 6 o'clock
okay.
that day.
Which
So
November
we-
16? You said
November 17th.
17.
It's a Thursday night,
Yep.
and we just need to get a flyer put together.
Okay.
And then she hasn't registered yet for that thing because I had texted her to remind her to register for that 5K. So she asked me to call them and make sure that she doesn't need insurance for it. So I did call them, I left a message. And then I'd like our team to make posters or some type of something promoting the Potty Boss for the event.
Uh-huh.
So should I just put all of that in the email? I don't want to make them feel like I took over,
No.
but
Put it.
I
Yeah.
kind of am a pushy person.
That's fine. Take over. Put it in an email.
Okay.
Send it to me.
Okay. Oh, and she also doesn't like the keychains. She doesn't like keychains.
Does she like the stickers?
She does like the sticker idea. She
Okay.
doesn't like the keychain idea, but she says she has little baggies,
Mm-hmm.
like decorated baggies that have Potty Boss on them. She said we can give those away as giveaways.
Baggies?
I don't know if they're not like, they might be like cute little tote bags. I'm
okay.
not sure.
Tote bags I can imagine. But
Okay.
when I think about baggies, I think about like
the
Ziploc
ones
bags.
No, I'm thinking about the trash can baggies, the ones that they give you at the car wash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what they are. I think they're like little tote bags.
Okay.
Like cute little, like the sacks for $1.
Yeah.
For groceries. But in any case, I thought I would let you know all of that because we didn't get to talk about
Thank
it
you.
in our group.
What do you think about? I was thinking about actually when I started working on the Condors thing, I thought about like I'm gonna have Colonel Claude, the mascot, come and I'm gonna have a table like out in front of the student union for like all afternoon. What are you thinking about doing a table for Potty Boss here on campus? Because various students have small kids. I mean, not everybody, but we've got a number of students on campus that have small children.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about having a table there and having Linda there?
I'm not part of the group, but
That would be
how
cool.
much are you guys selling it for? Like
$40.
Well, it depends. Like what I think the seat and bag
bag.
combination.
Is $60.
Yeah, and the seat by itself is
That's
40.
steep. I mean, I think it'd be great. This is just like an outsider's opinion. I think it'd be great to at least get practice on campus,
Mhm.
where maybe they're more comfortable to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't expect a lot at that price point for
Also-
campus.
CSUB's first basketball game
Yep.
is Thursday night. So
It's
it might
coming
be
Thursday, is it
this
really?
So we could
Oh wow.
So
get
it
good
would be cool to have a
exposure.
table out there, promoting the hockey thing. Even though I'm not on the hockey thing,
Condors.
I would
You're talking
totally
Condors.
want to be like promoting Condors out there.
What time is the game?
It's at 7.
Oh, so
How do you know
great.
this is an extra credit opportunity for another class?
Nope, I get the emails and I'm really
This Thursday.
involved with everything.
Oh,
I
ours.
love every sport
Like-
imaginable.
I
2
only
days
go
from
this
now,
extra
this
credit.
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Oh, too bad. Like, that's.
What
Like-
if somebody's
I didn't want
available
to,
though? Like
I
they-
said, I'm a really pushy person. I didn't want to be like, hey, Condors peeps, get your butts down there. But it might be cool to hand out some flyers.
No, it
after
would
the
be.
game
I
is
don't know if we
over.
can be prepared for it by Thursday.
Maybe the
but-
game will be over by 8:30 and you can just hand out some flyers standing out front. You know, those
Mhm.
zillion flyers that you guys have.
But you guys have your presentation. Though,
Yeah,
after
that's the
camp,
thing I
right?
was thinking about is that
Oh, yeah, the
Brent's
class.
not going to be able to be there because he's on the team and he's going to be playing. Like,
Oh, he's playing basketball?
He's awesome.
Cool.
he's our point. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Brent in this class is our point guard.
Oh, cool. No, I don't actually know the players, but I like to,
No, it's fine.
watch the games.
Okay, so I thought stage for a reason too.
Yes.
Mine's totally not positive like hers is. I had to miss Thursday's class.
That's okay.
But I know that it's like an activity and I'm really bummed about it. So I'm in a wedding on Saturday, but the
Mhm.
rehearsal is
Is
on
Thursday?
Thursday because she wants Friday to be like stress-free, relax with her family. So it's on Thursday, so I've been planning on missing this class since I pretty much started the semester.
Mhm.
And then you're like, oh, we're gonna do hands-on activity. And I thought, great, I'm actually gonna miss an activity.
Well,
So like, I guess my question is there something I could do?
yeah. Watch my webinar on grant research
Okay.
and try and
Provide,
do,
like,
try
a
and do it
page
at home.
report?
No, don't. I
no,
want
just find a grant.
no.
Just find a
Find a
grant. Basically,
grant.
get a grant.
Find
I
a
just want you to
grant.
like know, like I wanna.
No. That's what I was going to have the Shout team do on Thursday.
Okay.
Was watch the grant webinar,
Okay.
go to grants.gov,
Okay.
surf through, find a grant that sounds like it might work,
Mm-hmm.
download the grant application, start filling it out, see how far you can get, and then send me the grant application that you've filled out after you've gotten as far as you can.
Like what I could do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just do that at home. Watch my grant
Okay, cool.
webinar, and then try and find a grant that you think sounds in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Download the application form, fill it out, send me send me whatever you've able to do, and like a summary. Like, here's my questions. Here's what I couldn't do.
And this is why I think it's good.
Yeah.
I can do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
fine.
totally bummed just now.
That's what, I'm glad that you look forward to the activity.
Well,
Sometimes I don't plan.
Something like super,
I know, I like this class.
I'm glad. I feel like I'm not giving you guys a good
I
enough
was
class,
hoping-
you
I was
know?
hoping-
I'm tired by this time of
No,
the
you're
day, and
fine.
I'm kind of mailing it in as
I
more
was
than I'd like
hoping
to.
that I was going to miss one of those, okay, we're going to work with our groups. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm missing 20 minutes of
This time,
last
I
time.
was going home, yeah.
Yeah. But I can't miss it.
Grants are really important. I'm really,
I know, that's what you want to do, right?
yes, and I'm not eligible for the MPA program.
Why?
I went to the advisor today. My GPA is, they go by your overall GPA and not your like current GPA.
Not your
And-
CC. Wait.
15 years ago when I was 17 and 18 and 19, I only went to school so my parents could get off my back, and I failed everything. And I just took whatever, like pottery,
Oh, yeah.
theater, just
I took a
dumb,
basketball
you know,
class.
just classes like just to show up so my parents could leave me alone. And I failed everything, and they kicked me out of BC. So I dropped out of school. Oh, they kicked me out. And then when I was 25, I was like, look, I want to go to school. I'm bored. And it was really just, I'm bored.
Mhm.
I need something to do. So when I went back to BC, I had to petition to get in and write this long essay. And I had to start from the bottom, all my remedial classes. I'm talking like basic reading, things like that. And so I took all those classes, and I did really well going forward. But the 1.7 GPA that I left with when I was 19 is super haunting me now because it's murdered my GPA here. I have a 3.0 right now,
Mm-hmm.
and this has dropped it to a 2.33.
Have you talked to anybody besides your advisor?
No, I just went today. I was all excited too. I'm like, okay, I got my grad check ready. I'm ready to sign up for the MPA program. This is what I want to do. And she's like, Chris, you are way off. So she told me to talk to Mr. Martinez
Yeah.
and see if he can make an exception. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to see if I can get some like
Professor Matson, he graduated the MPA program like 2 years ago. I'm gonna see if he can kind of like, you know, vouch for me.
I'll vouch for you too.
Will you?
Yeah.
Okay, because I
Yeah, I was about to say,
I
like,
really, this is something
Tom,
I
right?
really
Tom
want to do.
Martinez?
Donald?
Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thomas. There you go, Thomas.
Yeah, I don't know Tom that well, but
Tom who? Thomas
Tom
Martinez.
Martinez.
He's the public policy.
I have a class with him right now.
Do you?
He's really nice.
Oh,
I mean, I know him. I know
I've never
him.
seen him or met him.
He's
Like,
really, really cool.
depending on which professor it is, some of them I know really well, and my
He's
my
great.
recommendation means more with some
Right.
people than it does with others. I'm not sure how much it'll mean to
How much
Tom,
weight he has.
but
He's crazy. He gets way off track, but he he like adopted 3 kids.
Oh.
really cool.
He he's a grandfather, right? And he's like, a lot of people think I'm crazy because I adopted 3 kids at the same time, and I'm assuming they're probably like brother and sister or whatever, but like he means super well. Like he's really nice.
Cool. That's good.
Really,
That makes me
really
feel better
organized.
because I didn't want somebody to be like, well, because like Belen, the advisor, was
Mhm.
saying, you know what? He doesn't really look at transcripts. So if he sees your GPA and he just decides, no, you can't get in because of your GPA,
Yeah.
you know, there's not much you can do about that. And I'm
He's
like,
really-
oh,
I think he's really understanding.
killing me. And then she's like, well, you're eligible for the MBA program. I don't want to be in the MBA. I want to be in the MPA. You know, so I'm not giving up. But it was like I felt so
Discouraging.
devastated when I walked out. You know.
Well, you should.
But I feel better now knowing that he could be a little bit more empathetic. Hello, I was a child.
I will
Who
tell you,
doesn't
no,
remember
I will
their
tell you
youth?
just what he did this week. So my dog, like I was telling you, my dogs
Yes,
went missing
your
this weekend, and they're my children, right? Like
Your dogs went missing? Are they back?
Yes.
Okay, good.
They together, right? So from Friday afternoon till like Sunday, Saturday afternoon, I was a basket case.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like emotional wreck. Like I couldn't even process. You know what I mean? Like I was looking. It was crazy. Like mama mode, right? But with that said, in that time span, I missed one of his quizzes.
Oh.
And I got behind on a little bit, right? And then on Sunday, I literally slept all day because I had to work at the same time. So it was my fault. Like on Sunday, I could have took coffee, or I could have drank coffee and really got it, but I decided to sleep with my dogs all day, and I didn't care.
Understandable.
So on Monday, I have this paper due in his class, and it's only like a 1.5 page review of our readings that I was supposed to do, and I was supposed to be able to speak to it. And I went to this, and I was trying to do it during class and stuff, and I couldn't focus on it because I was behind, blah, blah. So I went to his office at like 3, and we meet up at 5:30. I'm like, hey professor, I'm not trying to make excuses, so I'm just gonna tell you straight up, my paper's not done. And before I was even explaining to him the reason, like, to me, I had an emergency. Like, you might not understand it, but in my world, that was an emergency.
Oh, that is an
right?
emergency.
But some people aren't as empathetic to dogs, right? So it's like, in my world, that was an emergency. And before I was even able to explain the reason, he's like, you're fine. And then he starts giving me pointers on how I should be writing my paper. He's like, no, I'm just trying to repeat, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, just pay attention to this and this. And then he gave me like a 10-minute lecture. And I'm like, I was just asking for an extension, but I'll take the pointers too, you know? So he's really cool about it.
That's
Like
good.
super, like he's understanding, you know? And then I told him right, and he kind of just looked at me like, I don't give a crap about your dogs. I already said yes, stop talking. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So to me,
I
he's
feel
just
better
super
now.
understanding. Yeah,
I was really disappointed. I went back to work and my boss was like, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, like keep me posted. I'm happy to send a little recommendation email to.
I will email you or tell you as soon as I visit his office because I have to go to his office.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let me know. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to say nice things about you for it.
Yay, we'll see you later.
Okay. See ya.